week after conditioning the matrix, which I've got here. So now I'm ready to add it to my canister filter. I'm going to keep the water because obviously it's very rich in bacteria, and what I'll use that for is to condition future matrix that I may buy. I've also got some nodules that I've just taken out from the canister filter, so I'll be using it to condition that as well, so I ensure that it's got the right kind of nutrifying bacteria. So I've got my tray here, so I'm going to pop that in there. So open this up, just pour it in. If you have a look inside, you can see that clearly bacteria have started to grow, and also if you have a look on here, you'll see one or two of the stones have actually changed colour. So quite clearly there's been growth in there. So that's ready to go into the canister filter. So I've got 6 baskets. At the bottom I'm going to have, at the moment, foam to catch all the crud. I'm thinking when I've conditioned my nodules, which are these ones here, I'll probably put those at the next change at the bottom. The reason for that is that it's nice to have a gap there, and the nutrifying bacteria will break down all the sludge into smaller bits, which will then get caught in the sponges above. But for the moment I'm not happy with the bacteria that are on here, so I'm going to be using the fluid that I collected from the matrix, and I'll be using that to condition these for the next canister filter change, and then these will probably be going at the bottom. But for now it's going to be 2 sets of sponges. So that one there, and that one there. And then after that, I'm going to go for carbon. Which I'm using this one here, which is Reef Spec Carbon by Red Sea. And I already did a test. I had some other types of carbon which I added to water, and what happened was the actual carbon granules gave off a lot of small particles. And I did a test with this, and it seems as though it's been pre-washed. So literally I'm not going to be washing, I'm going to be putting it straight into the basket. This seems like it is a very good kind of carbon, so that will be going in. I'm also going to be trying these, which are another kind of ceramic nodules. See how they turn out. Again, these have already been conditioned. On the top, I'm going to be, along with the matrix, I'm going to be using these as well. And again, this will just catch any bacteria that pass through the matrix to start growing on here as well. So I'm not going to condition these for now, they'll be going straight in the basket. The carbon, I'm not going to be putting into a bag. that's been provided. I'm going to be having it loose and see how that goes. I think it's better to have the carbon able to move around slightly. So on the bottom I'm going to have a sponge which should stop it going through the holes at the bottom, and pour the carbon on the top of that. So it's about, you get just over 1,000 grams, it's about 500. I'm going to then cut the bag in half, put that on there, and then right, so that will go on there, and there'll be this one here. Then I'm going to have the matrix on the top of that. Now I just realised this basket here is a slightly different shape, and this usually goes on the top. Clearly there's going to be a gap there, so that's not going to work. This one's going to have to remain on the top. So then the matrix go on there like that. And these nodules go on this one here like that. So the idea is this will give plenty of room for the bacteria to be growing and moving around in the matrix. Any that come into the water, I'm hoping will be caught in here, which will then continue to denutrify the water. So that will go on there like that, and then on top there'll just be this to polish off and catch anything that wasn't caught in the lower stages. So we have sponge to remove any particles, so that'll be the physical filtration, along with the pre-filter, which you would have seen in earlier videos. And then we have the carbon to chemically purify the water, and then the water should be pretty clean. So then we have the matrix, which will be the biological filtration, along with the nodules, second level of biological filtration, and then this, even though there's a gap there, I'll just fill that up. We'll just catch anything that's got through the upper stages. Okay, and that's it. Over and out. Okay, because of the issue with the top layer, I've had to change things around slightly. So this one will still be going in the bottom layer. But then after that, it's gonna have to be carbon for now, loose with a mesh on top. And after that, now another sponge. That's just to catch any carbon particles which may get past the mesh. Then the matrix. With a gap. Then the nodules. Then it's going to be the sponge that's been treated with carbon. And I could still see that there's a slight gap there, which I'm going to need to fill. I don't want anything getting through, but then also I have to make sure that this is a flush fit, because the head sits down on this part here, and if it's not a flush fit, there's a possibility of leaks, but that looks fine. Okay. Put the pre-filter together. Put the head back on. Now you might have seen in a previous video I mentioned that I'd seen a crack in my heater. So the cracks are just there and there. I don't know whether I had the heater on and there wasn't enough water in the canister filter, but it still seems to be working, so that's fine. When I notice that it stops working, I'll just get a replacement. Next time I go to the shop I might get a replacement anyway, find out how much they are, but it's still working. So we get the head back on. Obviously make sure that the plugs don't get any water on them. ready to start filling the unit back up and get it back into action. Put the pre-filter together. Put the head back on. Now, you might have seen in a previous video I mentioned that I'd seen a crack in my heater. So the cracks are just there and there. I don't know whether I had the heater on and there wasn't enough water in the canister filter, but it still seems to be working, so that's fine. When I notice that it stops working, I'll just get a replacement. Next time I go to the shop I might get a replacement anyway, find out how much they are, but it's still working. So we get the head back on. Obviously make sure that the plugs don't get any water on them. Ready to start filling the unit back up.